So today we'll be explaining what the Visual Studio Project Tire Pressure Checker does. So this is a C# program here in the Visual Studio solution. And right here we start with the usual C# decorations. And this program is supposed to say what your tire pressure is going to be at different temperatures based on the temperature that you enter, and gives a comment on what your temperature, on what your tire is, and what you should do to it. So, the first thing that we do is write line a few welcoming lines like, "Welcome to the tire pressure checker" over here. Next, we open a while statement. And a while statement, as you can see here, performs actions while something is still going. So while tire pressure is still equals 0, meaning that it's the equality sensor. Now we have console.writeLine equals enter your tire pressure below, which is where you do the user input for tire pressure. So you can see we already created integers named tire pressure and temperature here. We now can declare them. So with an if statement, you can say int.tryParse, which is going to try to parse the integers, but if it can, yes, it's going to read the line, and then it's going to print out tire pressure if it's succeeded. Then we're going to break out of the loop. And then if it's anything other, if it can't parse the integers up there, then it's gonna beep, making a beep sound, and then it's gonna say, "Hey, you need to enter an actual number for your tire pressure," telling the user that you need to enter a numerical format instead of a number or anything. A letter. So we enter another while loop. If temperature equals 0, we're going to enter the current temperature in Fahrenheit where you live. And it's the same kind of thing with the try-parse, except it returns temperature this time. And then it beeps the same thing and goes beep. And now all these, if, else if, else if, else if, else if, else if, else. So this will print a message. It will write line a message depending on what tire pressure you enter. Let's say you enter 30. It's going to say, your tire pressure is good. If you are really paranoid, then I'd fill it up, but you don't have to. So that's what it would say. It's going to console.writeLine the message out. Next, you can see that this is all else if, because if up here, there's going to be else if, so it doesn't get confused and go to that first. So if there's anything other than that, if it's any higher than that, then it's going to render it as too high, and it's going to tell you to blow tires out. So next we create a variable called temp pressures, and then we create a dictionary, which is a list of integers or variables. You can see we have int, and then we have a for loop, which we have int I minus 20, and then you do I is greater than or equal to 120, and then I plus equals 20. To do that, we can do temp pressures.add, which is adding to it, and what it adds to it is I up here, and then it gets the pressure for temperature, tire pressure, and I. Next, we do console.writeLine, and we're going to say, here's how your tire pressure will change for different temperatures. Next, we will go for each statement, and we'll do a variable called item, and we'll say that's in temp pressures, which is our dictionary. And our console.writeLine here, we have a $sign to say our thing. We can say item.key, because that item or key is going to say at whatever degrees your tire pressure will be item.value, which is whatever value it is. And then it's going to say, thank you for using the tire pressure checker. And then if you see, you want to continue entering temperatures. So to do that, you're going to have to do console.readKey. Key equals enter. And then you're going to do console.clear to clear all the things in the console. And then we're going to say, we're going to call back args to run the program again. Next, we create a private static int that is called get pressure for temperature. We create multiple ints for temperature, pressure, and target temp, which is what we're trying to get to. Now we do an integer called pounds, which is equal to math.abs, which is short for math.absolute, reversing the number into negative. So that's going to be temperature minus target temp, divide by 10, and then reverse that. And we're going to create an integer from that named new pressure. and we have an if statement called if target temp is less than temperature, then we create a new pressure equals pressure minus now pounds. And then we have an else that is going to do the same thing except add the pressure in pounds. And we return the new pressure. So let's go ahead and run this program and see what it does. Here, there it is. So let's make it full screen. So let's say our tire pressure is 29. Hit enter. You can see. And now it asks you to enter the current temperature where you live. It is, let me just check that real quick. Right now it is 86, so let me enter that. 86. And you can see here, your tire pressure is just okay based on the messages that we put in. To be safe, I would fill it with 32 psi. And you can see here, it lists all the different tire pressures based on the temperature. So like say it suddenly gets up to 100. Then your tire pressure is going to increase to 30. Suddenly it drops down to 20. It's going to be 23, in which case you should probably fill it up. So you can see, just hit enter, and then you can see it clears the console and then runs the program again, as we said back over here at the whole line 94 to line 100. So now let's enter something oversized, and then I'm going to say 55. You can see, dude, you need to let out air in your tires or you might blow them out, because that's the message that it prints over here if it's anything else. So that's basically the overview of this tire pressure checker solution in Visual Studio 2019. Goodbye.